Okay, today I'd like to show you my pultruder setup, which is similar to other examples that I've seen online, which are very impressive, but I've added a couple of unique features myself that I'd like for people to see and maybe be able to make use of. So here we go. I'll share most of the files, or all of the files for the various parts that I've designed when I get around to it. This is the bottle cutter, and I've already cut a strip, well, cut the beginning of a strip out of the bottom of this bottle. So let's start by feeding that in. And then we put a weight on top. This weight is a bit too small. It's full of rocks and metal nuts. It's too small. It needs to be about twice as big to hold enough. I'll put a couple of rolls of tape on top of it for now, which I tested before, and that makes it about right. That's about 900 grams in total, which is sort of the minimum you need for this particular Chi plastic bottle. But for other types, you want less than a kilo. So hopefully about 900 grams is about where you want it for most bottles. But yeah, hopefully it works with this one. Anyway, we start pulling. Ooh. Start pulling, so there's nothing too out of the ordinary about this yet. Let's just check the thickness. I haven't perfectly adjusted this yet. As it's beginning to do a particular bottle, the thickness will fluctuate a little bit before it sort of settles consistently. We're looking for 6.5 millimeters for this exact type of bottle, this Chi drink bottle. I've tested already. Any thicker than that won't fit, any wider than that, sorry, won't fit through the pultruder. But we sort of want it as wide as we can, having it fit through the pultruder. We're now at 6.2 millimeters. We want 6.5. Let's just see if it settles a little bit. Still at only 6.15. So we'll adjust this screw here a bit. It's an M5 screw, and it's determining the width. .43, that's pretty good. .48, we're almost there. 6.49, wow, only 0.01 millimeters left to go. 6.46, oh no, we've gone back down. Okay, better just turn that a tiny bit more. I can't remember exactly how many points of a millimeter you get per turn. Exactly, it's an M5 thread, but you've sort of got to do it, experiment with it a little bit anyway. Okay, so hopefully we're getting around 6.5, yeah, 6.49 millimeters. So this works fairly consistently. Of course, you don't need to get it 100% consistent, but the more different phases of the filament production, pultrusion, that I can get as accurate as possible, the more accurate the finished filament will be. Okay, so we're almost getting to the label, which you'll notice I haven't removed. That's because this bottle cutter has a special feature that I haven't seen elsewhere, which is a slot for a chisel to remove the label. Now, obviously, you'll see this leaves some residue compared to other methods of washing off the label gunk with acetone or anything like that, but that's far too time-consuming, in my opinion. I wouldn't bother to do this if I had to carefully wash and scrub every bottle. And also, since the aim here is to save some plastic from the landfill, if I was having to use acetone straight out of another plastic bottle, and also more chemicals being released into the environment, that would sort of defeat the purpose a little bit, in my opinion, of trying to do this on a biggish scale, or at least to actually try and make some usable filament from this, with the purpose being to that tiny satisfaction of stopping a little bit of plastic going to the landfill. Okay, so almost at the label. Got the chisel in place. Now I should add, this Chi plastic bottle, the label is actually only just attached with a little bit of glue, so this is way easier than some other bottle labels. You'll struggle a little bit. This thumb screw is to adjust the thickness, so how far the chisel blade sits away from the, it's actually a bit of metal I've got down there, a leftover piece of PCB stencil, just to make sure the friction doesn't get on the PLA plastic itself, that the bottle cutter is made of. Hopefully I think I've got this thickness around about right, but as you can see, mostly the label is just coming off by itself, because there's actually not much glue on this bottle at all. But you'll see in some places, there we go, that's where the glue is, and it's coming off reasonably well. You've got to be careful. Sometimes you'll cut into the plastic, which I've sort of, oh no, a bit of label has come through. So it takes some experimenting to get everything just right. That's better.